Ladies and gentlemen, NXT just went off the air. Unpopular Review is going on the air. We're going to give our thoughts and review on the latest episode of NXT. Is the review and results show. You have one bad guy, Jack, and you have the wonderful wrestling doll. We're going to talk about NXT right after these great intro because we have some intros. Those intro, I'm not even gonna hold you. The first intro that we always play before we have the NXT review intro, that was so loud. Like you couldn't hear me on the other end. I said, "Holy hell, that is loud!" But guys, this is Unpopular Review. This is the NXT review show. I'm one of your hosts, Bad Guy Jack, aka the Great Grand Slam Pooh. I'm joined with the wonderful wrestling doll, aka Delia Dark, or I would say Double D because my butcher names. But Wrestling Doll, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. Enjoyed some NXT. Been eating some candy. If anybody is familiar with these are one of my favorites. Tastes like strawberries, a childhood dream. If anybody buys me a bag of these for Valentine's Day or a bag of chocolates, I'll roll a meal more.
You know what's funny about that candy that you showed right there, the strawberry? It's this urban legend, right? Where it's like you don't buy them from the store, but your grandmother gives it to you, and then you're like, "Grandma, where'd you get it from?" They're like, They don't tell you where they got it from.
That's where I first had these, from my grandmother's house, but she didn't do that, so.
Oh, she didn't tell you. Like,
Nope.
no. I feel like I saw it one time in a store, those actual candies, and they're really good. Like they're really, really good. It just seemed like you can never find them, and they come in this like tin. I forget what it is. Not like this tin can or whatever. But a lot of times in the tin can is something else. It's not even that candy. It's like needles and stuff like that. But guys, we're gonna talk about some.
Are you talking about the cookie tins? Are you talking about the cookie tins, the sugar cookies, and then when you empty it out, your grandmother puts like sewing needles and stuff like that in there to use as extra storage?
Yes, ma'am.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
what happened. That's exactly what happened in my grandmother's house. The cookies will get eaten, and that tin gets filled with sewing stuff.
Outstanding. So with all that said, we're going to talk about some NXT. I just want to give you the floor real quick before we break down some of the stuff on NXT. What did you think about NXT before we go any further?
Tonight was pretty solid. I can't complain. It was a pretty good episode tonight. Some ups, some downs, some highs and lows, and some ass kicking in between.
Some ass kicking in between. We got usually we have in the chat one George who opens up here, but we have, I guess we could say, he's taking the title from George. So when George does show up, we can sit there and say, "You're not number one anymore." We got New H-Man. He says, "Let's roll for the NXT review." So thank you, H-Man, New H-Man, for being in here. I got to say New H-Man because there was a previous H-Man, so I got to give you new. So I'm pretty sure you could appreciate that. We got Good Chris in the chat. He says, Hill Roxanne is starting. You know what's funny? I don't necessarily think she's a heel. I think more she's a little bit more aggressive, but we'll talk about it a little bit as the show goes on. We have New H-Man. He says, "Hi there, guys. Valentine's Day is tomorrow morning on Valentine's Day Parade." There's a parade for Valentine's Day? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a parade. It's called going to stores to get better deals on stuff, even though it's not a big deal, or going to restaurants to get a one-night special. Which luckily I work in neither of those industries, so I don't have to worry about that. I can just go home in the morning and come back later at night.
And I don't know if I could call this guy Good Chris anymore because he says, I like the slap by Roxanne Perez.
Listen,
Jesus.
she's not turning heel. She's just going aggressive and letting out her frustration and anger. And unfortunately, Ren Sinclair, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, I felt really bad for Ren and the way she got slapped because Ren seemed like such a sweetheart. And for Roxanne to slap the taste out of her mouth, I said, Roxanne, that is not nice. And we also have New H Man. He wants to make it clear that you have fantastic hair. So shout out to your hair. And New H Man wants you to know that you have nice hair. Great stuff. Let's open up
Thank
this
you.
bad let's open up this bad boy. NXT opened up with Noam Dar and Oro Mensah. Noam Dar, he's relaxing. He's not even taking this match against Von Wagner, the fantastic Von Wagner, and one Robert Stone. He's not taking it serious. He's relaxing. He got the cucumber on the eyes. Look like he's like at a spa day. He's having a spa day kind of thing. But Mensah is always training. Mensah is always trying to be prepared because he's like, you never know what's going to happen. And he was right on that because one, Von Wagner and Robert Stone, they did a sneak attack. They even said sneak attack and they attacked them. I love that Robert Stone's kids are being a little bit more involved in this. So right after Mensah and Aura, I mean Mensah and I separate Mensah and Aura, but Mensah and Dar was being taken from their locker room to the ring, and you see Lash and Jakara, and they're like, "Which way did they go? Which way did they go?" You see the twins go that way.
I
And they
love
just,
that every time in TV shows and cartoons where that happens. You're like, which way do they go? That way.
it is
No,
so
that way.
it is
No,
so
that way.
Looney Tune. It is so Looney Tune
Looney
esque.
Tunes, it's a cartoon that you don't like, and I'm not going to say the name because if I do, your blood pressure is going to go through the roof. But
Please
it's very
say it because
bad.
I don't even know which one it is, but please say it. Like I promise my blood pressure will maintain itself.
No, it won't. No, it won't. We had a
Is it?
discussion about how much you don't like the cartoon and how long it's been around and how many movies they've created and how it's still going. So I'm not going to
How
say
dare
that.
you bring up Scooby Doo? It was Scooby Doo. I hate that cartoon. I hate that dog.
Why do you
They
think I
call him
didn't say the name?
they call him a Great Dane, and I say no. You're a great disappointment. Get out of my face, Scooby Doo. Yep. Scooby Doo has really upset me.
And
Wrestling
again,
dog.
why do you think I didn't say the name? Because I knew you would act like this. That's what it
I'm
reminds me of. That's of those silly antics that they would do to eventually catch the person in disguise.
I do have a favorite Scooby Doo cartoon actually. It was the
Which
one where
one?
him and it was Scooby Doo and Johnny Bravo. They teamed up. It was all because
Oh, I
Johnny
love
Bravo.
that episode. Especially when Johnny and Velma lose their glasses and they wind up wearing each other's.
And you know what was so funny about that, real quick? It was funny because you've always seen Velma without her glasses, right? But you never see Johnny Bravo without them. And the way he covered his face, he made it clear. Like I don't even think the dude have pupils at all. I just don't think so. But I'm glad that you said that. I think one day we should review some Johnny Bravo because I don't think Johnny Bravo cartoons these days would last at all.
That are
At
you
all.
kidding? It would get canceled in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
The comedy from back then is much more different than it was now. I mean, all the stuff that they put out there back then, I follow pages of like not suitable for work. That's what they would say, like about these things, and they would make comments and like talking about like innuendos and jokes in there that would not fly now.
Oh, absolutely not. And the way Johnny Bravo was, like literally the description for Johnny Bravo was for him, he was always like, wait, there's a word, but I'm gonna try to keep it as clean as possible on this show. But let's talk about NXT. But
I
Johnny
mean, you
Bravo is
could
a fun.
say he was chauvinistic.
There we go.
That's the
I think
clean
you
way of saying it.
described. I think you described it much better than I could. This match opened up with Noam Dar and Oro going against Von Wagner and Robert Stone. This was his first match in many, many years. I remember Robert Stone in TNA. Matter of fact, when I was looking up some pictures of him, I don't know if this actually count as a match, but the match where it was him and I forget who his manager was, who he was managing at the time. It was a female. I don't remember if it was Chelsea Green. I just don't remember, but it was a few years back, and he had the boxer shorts and everything like that. I felt like that was his last match, and even though I don't think he did much in there, but I just don't remember. But he was out here. He wanted to perform. I saw his social media where he wanted to. He kept saying he wanted to showcase what he could do in front of his boys. When his boys were growing up, they were very young, so they didn't see him as a in-ring performer. I thought he looked pretty solid in here. I thought he did pretty good. I mean, from the spots that I saw, he did like a cross body. He did a little things. There was a spot where he did like a springboard cross body to the outside, but he missed. And you had Von Wagner. He eats the pin for Noam Dar and Oro. And I remember last week when we were talking about this one, we were talking about this match, Wrestling Dar. And I remember us both saying, like, oh, Oro's going to eat the pin. And we were both very disappointed in that because we sat here and said, Oro is such a great talent and he deserved so much more. I'm glad that he didn't take the pin. I was surprised Vaughn ate the pin. And it makes me wonder what goes on with the story. Is the story done? And I feel like it's done because later in the night, I just want to tie in everything together. You have the Quarter Catch Club, which is oh my God, Drew Gulak.
The no quarter cut crew.
Thank you. I need to be corrected there so much. But they were looking at Noam Dar's Heritage Cup, and it looked like they're next in line. So it makes me wonder: is this a done deal for Von Wagner and Robert Stone? Von Wagner, he lost twice. I don't see why he would have to get another shot at this championship after eating the pin twice. So, Russell, I'm going to give you the floor. I see in the chat we got George. George, shout out to you. You're usually number one here, George, but you wasn't number one this week. But we say thank you for being here. We see Charmaine. She says, "Hey, Wrestling Doll, my favorite host." I think she meant to say Wrestling Doll. I got home from the hospital because I was done. Well, we send the best vibes your way, George. We're sending all the love your way. So we just want to say thank you for tuning in and joining us. So thank you for that, sir. Wrestling Doll, I'm going to give you the floor. What did you think about this match, thoughts, and all that stuff?
Well, for starters, I'm glad that Oro Mensah did not have to be the one to eat the pin this week. I felt like if y'all are going to build Von Wagner to be a strong contender, why y'all going to have him keep losing? It's like with Solo Sikoa. Ever since being John Cena, that man has lost over 20 times. Y'all aren't making him strong. Y'all are making him look like he can't find nobody. But with Von Wagner, he's a strong powerhouse. He can hold his own. Can he talk? Not the best on the mic, which is why he has Robert Stone. But if you're going to make him look like somewhat of a threat, you can't have him losing to someone like Noam Dar. At all.
Yeah. I don't mind, like, Noam Dar, I think he's great, right? Like, but I thought the story was going to be Von Wagner. I thought the story was Von Wagner going for the championship or the Heritage Cup. And I guess that's not the thing. I guess this was just a
filler?
Yes. I think you said it best. I was trying to find the cool way of saying it where they go like, Noam Dar was on a submission. So, I see George in the chat. He says Von Wagner isn't done with this one yet, but I think he's done. I do, especially with later in the night when Von and Robert Stone, they're walking in the back, and then you had King. He comes up and he sits there and says, "I know you're tired of losing, Robert Stone." So I feel like Lexus King, Von Wagner's next feud is Lexus King, but Von Wagner has been taking a lot of L's. Just been taking so many.
I would say hopefully he doesn't take an L against Lexus King, but the way that they're trying to build him up, they're going to have him take an L to Lexus King. So now Von Wagner has been given the lovely role of being a jobber, which is not good. Not for him.
Yeah,
that's not going to help.
No, they really haven't been. And there's been a few times when I've saw the stuff with Von Wagner where I personally thought, like, So when he had that feud with Braun Breaker, I said, "Oh, he's going to definitely be Braun Breaker. He's going to get his win back. Blah blah blah." And they're
Nope.
going to build something with him. And right, absolutely, nope, that wasn't the
But
case.
this was why. This was why. Because Braun Breaker nearly broke that man's skull and gave him a concussion or contusion or something on his head.
Von Wagner, you said all that. Oh, I thought of when I saw Braun do that. I said Braun's trying to kill somebody.
He was.
He was
really
really
trying to
trying
kill him, and Corbin was looking at him like, "Damn."
Yeah, Corbin said like, "Easy, kid. Take it easy." And we're going to talk about
Corbin
them later.
may be an asshole, but he's not going to try to murder somebody. Literally, Braun Breaker was literally trying to murder Von.
See, you say that one wrestling doll. I know that you've been doing some research and stuff, and you've been like building up in the long history of wrestling.
It's hard to forget somebody nearly breaking someone's head open on some steel steps and then being stretched out to a hospital.
You say all that one wrestling doll, but I sit here and I'll point you to Exhibit A. You said, you know, Baron, he wouldn't kill anybody. He wouldn't do this thing. But let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you a little bit.
Well, I haven't seen
story time. Story time with Badguy Jack. I know you guys love this thing that I do talking about stories. But when I was a lad, all them years ago, the year was 1999. Stone Cold got ran over. Everyone was trying to figure out who ran over Stone Cold. Guess who ran over Stone Cold? The Dancing Samoan. So my point is, when I say all that is, you never know who's going to do what. Because no one thought it was everyone blamed The Rock. I mean, I know y'all doing that right now in today's society. But back in the day. I wonder
why.
Back in the day.
Even I was mad. I was like, why? We don't need it now. We could have had that 2-3 years ago and been over with.
I think UPR is trying to have this great debate thing going on, Wrestling Dog. You should join them for this great debate and talk about this.
Are you kidding? I'm going to be outnumbered by every single male in this chat about that.
Why'd you look at me?
Because you're part of the men that love Roman Reigns.
You know, Wrestling Dog, when we do WrestleMania,
we have wanted Rock versus Roman for ages.
Actually, no, I have not. I'm not going to hold you with that.
Oh, you're one of the few that didn't want that. Okay.
No, I didn't want. Matter of fact, I would love for Roman just to hold it.
3 years ago, when the people wanted it, this wouldn't be happening.
This is why you got to listen. A cheap plug here. You got to listen to the Big Pop Theory podcast because I could give my thoughts on all these things right there, and you can listen to that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And also, I just learned we are on Podbeam, so please take a listen to all that great things right there. That was my announcer voice. But now I'm going to take that off and talk about one. You know what I want to talk about? Wrestling Dog. Wrestling Dog. You know how I love her. I love her so much. She is fantastic.
I cannot wait to see how they make her look in the WWE 2K24 game.
Oh, she's going to be my manager in the game. When I defeat Kingpin for the, I don't know what championship, because I plan on feuding with Kingpin, Dom Toretto, and Bill Goldberg. And there's another person.
Are you going to have Bret Hart in your faction since he's part of the game?
Of course. Well, Bret Hart is going to, we're going to be called the Jack and Hearts. I'm working on the name, guys. Bear with me.
Jack of Hearts, that works.
The Jack of Hearts. Wrestling Dog, you're going to be in my faction too. Oh. Not EC. EC is going to be. He's going to be like. He's just going to. No, he's just going to open the refrigerator for me when I'm hungry. See, this is why I like working with Wrestling Dog here. See, this is what I'm talking about. But Chase U, when I saw the Chase U graphic and stuff, I immediately said, "Oh, we're gonna get some JC Jane," and I got super stoked about this. I was so excited when I saw Andre Chase with his stupid podium. I said, "Oh, please get off my TV." I'm sorry. Look. I'm happy that Andre Chase. Look, he's cleaned now. He's shaved. His hair looked good. You know, he's looking better. But I was more happy for one Duke Hudson because he deserved his MVP trophy. He deserved that. He earned that last year. It was taken away from him when he didn't deserve that because of Andre Chase's bad decision making. But he got that back. Good for him. And then everyone was saying Andre Chase is like, let's give it up for motherfucking JC Jane. And there was a JCJ chant. And I was there too. I was doing this. I was like, yeah, JC deserved this. JC deserved this. Matter of fact, Andre should kiss the floor that JC walks on, which is gross. I don't think anyone should do that. But then you get in this segment, you have Rizzo who shows up, and it looked like she's trying to collect her pay. And when she gets her pay, she says, wow, this is a lot heavier than I expected. And JC says, yeah, those calendars were really selling.
I'm really disappointed. Why.
I'm really disappointed.
It's like that scene from the House Bunny when they make the calendars to sell to raise money for their sorority house. And then when they're selling the calendars, everybody is buying them like crazy.
And they sold very well. They made some good stuff. They made a great profit. And you have JC says, "Hey, what about my boys? Can they get a shot at those tag team titles?" And she said, "I'll talk to my guys about it." But you see Andre and them trying to look at her like that, and JC's like, "JC, I love this for JC Jane. She deserved all the good. Shout out to JC Jane. I'm so sad that this is the only time I'm going to talk about some JC Jane. I'm really heartbreaking.
Hey, look at the bright side. There's always next week where you get more JC Jane.
I love her so much.
I know you do.
With all that said, what did you think about the segment? We're going to do a quick commercial because we're at the 20-minute mark. I didn't realize I was running my mouth so much. But what did you think about? Matter of fact, let's talk about this and then a match, and then we'll do a commercial. But what do you think about this before we go into the Ridge Holland against Gallows match?
Well, I thought the segment was entertaining. I kind of had a feeling that Adriana was involved with the business of JC getting the calendars out some way, somehow. I'm not sure how fully, but I had a feeling, but it was nice. It was kind of like a little like to put into the mind of Andre Chase. Ooh, do we fully trust her? But because of that, they could possibly have gotten title opportunity, a shot for the titles, which they will have to figure out a way to get that now, which we will discuss why they had to figure out another way to do that at the end of the show. But it was fine. And as for this match, I told you it was going to be a gauntlet. I told you. I called it.
You did. You did.
I was like, there's no way they're going to make it a 3-on-1 handicap match and do all that. We don't need that. Let's just make it a gauntlet match, come out one by one, and then Ridge Holland can kick all their asses. But because they decided to break the rules and do whatever the hell they wanted and be like, oh, we'll just do whatever we want because we're badasses and we can kick ass and we're big and we're strong and we're tough, even though everybody doesn't like us and y'all were boring as hell as tag team champions because y'all don't know how to cut a promo to save your damn life.
Right.
Ridge Holland snapped, finally lost his damn mind, like Joe Gacy has, and
finally
whooped their asses with the chair because they deserved it. As he should. He has been getting beat down. He's been getting frustrated by these men for ages since basically Pete Dunne is no longer Butch anymore, and Sheamus had been recovering from the injury that he sustained.
Mm-hmm.
So it had just been him by his lonesome, him trying to figure out why people keep getting hurt or the fact that keeps working people that keep getting hurt. And then Gallows had to stick their nose into it, make him feel like shit for it. And then they decided to keep bringing him down. So at one point, when you poke the bear's going to fight back. And the bear fought back and beat their asses with a chair.
I feel like you nailed it all in the head. You know, all I got out of this Ridge, anytime I see Ridge on TV, I just go like, Ridge really just don't have any friends. Like, I remember one segment that they had some weeks back, and they had where Gallus was jumping him, and the cameras zoom in on the entranceway of the NXT arena, and no one came out, and it just came, and it really seemed very sad where no one's gonna help him. You're right. Back, I want to say 4 or 5 months ago. Sheamus would have came out and helped him. Once upon a time, Butch, now Pete Dunne, and I'm glad he's Pete Dunne. And I really look forward to seeing one Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. Yes, we did. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate going against
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. Yeah, that's going to be a really good match. Honestly, that's going to be really good. I don't see them winning. I know we're going to have a prediction show for Elimination
But
Chamber,
they will
and
give their best shot for those belts.
oh yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, I feel like at the end of the day, even with me saying I don't see them winning, we win as fans because that match is going to freaking kill. That is going to kill. But yeah, Ridge, he beats in the first match. He beats Wolfgang. Joe Coffey comes out. There was a DQ finish. I missed completely what the DQ was, but yeah, I think the storyline is going to keep going. He lays them out. He beats them up with a chair. Then he looks at his hands. And he's like, "Did I do that? Yes, you did, Holland. You did that. You, sir,
It's like
did that."
when somebody loses their mind and they black out and then they start going crazy and doing whatever. Like for example, beating people up with a steel chair. And so when he comes back to it, he's like, "What just happened? Why are they laying on the ground? I did that? Yeah, you did because you went nuts from all the freaking bullying you got."
One Rustling Doll, let me tell you, you said all that, and I thought you were saying some really great stuff there. But I sit here and say, you said when you blink out, right? Have you ever
When you
played
black
Mario
out.
Kart?
Yes.
Mhm. Have you ever played Mario Kart, got so frustrated that you blacked out?
I've gotten frustrated only because the person that I would play with is very competitive, aka my brother-in-law. But I never blacked out to the point that I don't remember what happened.
I played Mario Kart one time, and when I get hit with that damn blue shell, I black out, and I immediately look at what I think are my friends,
Well,
and
I
look
grew
at
up
them
playing
and
Mario Kart 64, so that wasn't in the game yet.
I,
That was my
that
first ever
is
video game.
dude, that's like the best Mario Kart. Like, honestly, like Mario Kart 64, Double Dash was fun.
Yes.
The one on the Switch, I forget what number that
Mario Kart
is,
8.
but that's a fun Mario Kart. I just got
Yes,
like
it
if you
is.
but Mario Kart 64 is dope as hell. Like that's always going to be number one. I feel like they
I
should be a
always played
top.
as Peach. I had to play as my girl. Plus,
I
she's
played as
light and
Yoshi.
tiny, so she can move fast too.
I used to play as Yoshi. I used to hate when Toad would just like pass by and go woohoo, and I said I am going to kill you, and I would throw a shell
That's
at
so
him
funny.
purposely. No, woohoo! As soon as I heard Toad say that, I said, I hate this talking mushroom. You're a dick, Toad. I hate you. But yeah, Toad was a pain in the ass in Mario 64. But Mario 64 is the great. So as soon as you said that, I was like, you won me. But guys, you're watching Unpopular Review. Maybe we'll have some kind of Mario Kart thing. I don't know. But we're gonna play a commercial. We're gonna talk some more NXT, and we're probably gonna talk more how Toad is a dick in Mario Kart 64. So we'll be right back after these commercials.
That situation right there, I feel like they're basically just setting up AJ Styles versus LA Knight to kind of give him something to do.
Absolutely.
To kind of give him something to do, which is interesting to me because I think that LA Knight's sizzle is starting to fizzle, if that makes sense. Because like he's still over. Everybody likes to say LA Knight. But I don't think that he's part of. I think this is their way of trying to put some sizzle back on the steak, because I don't see anything. There's no program for him. There's nothing going on with him right now. But he's still super over. So I definitely see probably something in the pay-per-view as far as Elimination Chamber with these two going on.
Very
what
possible.
do you think?
Yeah, it's a match that makes sense. I think you're right. It's very crowded at the top. And it's very crowded because you have a few really big things going on. I mean, he might have benefited from CM Punk's injury a little bit, but when the Rock comes in and whew, but yeah, I mean, LA Knight probably should target the U.S. champion, which is what Jeffrey said, Jeffrey Reimer, that is, or perhaps there should be sort of a trade where he goes to Raw. Though I think right now they don't need it. But if Seth was still the champion, I think LA Knight against Seth would be something to be interesting. Yeah, I think you're right that there's a fizzle of the sizzle. I don't know that I just think though that I don't think it's that he's got smaller. I think it's that the top has gotten bigger.
Did Elo Dose forget that Seth Rollins is still technically champion?
Why? What did he? I'm sorry. Maybe I missed something. Why? Why'd you say?
Because he said it's Seth Rollins. We're still champion. I'm like, he hasn't lost the belt yet. He's still champion. He's been champion since he won it. He hasn't vacated the belt, saying, "I'm going to take some time to heal from my injury. I'm going to get some surgery done and recover. I'm going to vacate the belt so y'all can have a match and fight for it." He hasn't done that.
Yeah, I was going to. I expect to see him at WrestleMania, and it's going to be interesting because, real quick, shout out to the SmackDown crew. It's usually Z the Silent and Vic. Z is like every other week, but shout out to Evil Dose for filling in. It's going to be interesting. WrestleMania. I feel like I've had these conversations with one EC. We talk about like WrestleMania and wrestling and stuff like that. We talk about multiple things, and it's going to be interesting because I feel like we have an idea where this card is going to go, but then we don't. And even with the World Heavyweight Championship thing, I've seen this thing online, and I feel like this would be the proper move to go. I see Drew winning Elimination Chamber. Is trying to figure out how Sammy get involved, but I feel like they're telling the story with Sami Zayn, and I know that they, once again. Shout out to the Monday Night Raw crew, which is EC and Evil Dose, and I know they did a review yesterday, so please check them out. If you didn't catch them live, please try to catch them live, but if not, watch the replay and hear their thoughts about the latest episode of Raw. But there's a story that they're telling with Sami Zayn that I think is actually really interesting, especially when you look at Sammy, who has been taking a lot of L's, but I feel like that is designed for a reason. But we're going to talk some NXT, but I did want to get into some of the chats real quick. George is in the chat. He sat here and said, "Here we go, Jack's getting ready to talk about JC Jane." Everyone knows that.
Already did.
And he mentions that he likes Jack of Hearts. So that's shout out to you because you came up with that name.
You have to spell it like how the Heart Foundation does it. No E. H-A-R-T. No E.
See, there we go. There we go. Jack of Hearts. I like that. I like JC Jane as a heel. She's not a heel.
She's technically not a heel, but she's not a face. She's just more of like Deadpool, the anti-hero.
I saw that trailer and it was fantastic. I didn't watch the game. I was really
in an asshole.
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures too. As soon as you said that, I got that reference. I love Bailey so much. Oh, who doesn't like Bailey? We love Bailey over here. People still don't trust JC Jane. No, that's just you. Speak for yourself. Because we trust JC Jane over here. Riggs was going nuts. He was going nuts.
Oh, please. It is way beyond now over. He's going to try to take them down once and for all. He might as well just have every week fight them off one at a time, destroy them until he gets to the main leader of Gallus, and then they just...
Who is that? But let me ask you that. Who is the main leader? Like, I thought it was Joe Coffey, but Joe Coffey got in the ring, no?
Yes, but he's still the leader.
Okay, so it's him. So Shotzi wants a shot at the NXT Championship. Interesting. We're going to talk about that, George.
Listen, if you can get a title opportunity, of course you're going to want a shot at it.
Absolutely.
I mean, technically, all she won was the NXT Tag Team Championship belts with Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon.
Yep.
She's never been solo champion. So if you're going to get a shot at a championship, who are you to say no? Unless you're injured and cannot wrestle.
George, because I give you as the point guard, how many points for that name? Because Wrestling Dog gave it, so I'm going to put it to your discretion. How many points for that name? And we got Todd. Hey, Todd, what's going on, bud? He says maybe Ridge joins up. I don't see that. I just don't.
No. Listen. I know people find Ridge Holland boring, but him joining Gallus is not going to help. It's just going to make them even more boring.
You know what's funny?
Ridge Holland is not the world's greatest promo cutter. He's a good in-ring worker, despite the fact that he's stiff, and unfortunately, a few people that he's worked with have got injured. However, do not put him in the group that he's trying to take down. I hate when the storyline turns to that. It's so predictable. You get upset, you take them down, you get so annoyed, you work with them over and over again, and then you decide, maybe they're right. I'm going to go join them. Boring. So predictable. If I have to see that in indie wrestling, why do I want to see that in WWE or NXT all the damn time?
I do want to sit here and say George because he's a point guard here for NXT. So shout out to George. He's giving you this much point. I think that's 89,000 points that he gave you. George, I'm sorry. I just want to know how many points do I got, because I know George is always very biased towards me, but I just want to see what my point score look like. But thank you, George, for being in the chat. Yeah, I agree. I don't want him in the group. Do I find him boring? Not necessarily. I've always something about Rick, and I think it was just always his look. Like he has a good look, and I
He
was
has the
always
look
kind
that I
of
like. He has
right.
the look that they like.
Hmm.
No,
Oh,
no, go ahead.
okay. No, I'm sorry, George. No, he made sure to let me know that I got the same thing. We got the executive devil in the chat right here, as you can tell, the guy who's wearing red here. Cody Crybabies. No one's even talking about
Nobody is
Cody.
being a Cody crybaby. All I said earlier was if we
He
got that
says all
2 to 3 years ago, everybody would be fine. Because
he
we waited for so long and they finally listened to the people and give them what they want, they're not happy about it because y'all have been promoting Cody Rhodes to be the one to take Roman Reigns on for the past 2 years since losing last year at WrestleMania.
you're entertaining that, and we're gonna get into the next match. You entertain that, but I kid you not, he has a Cody Rhodes shirt, and he's gonna wear it at WrestleMania. So yes.
No, he's going up against Roman Reigns. There is no way in hell the executive consultant would put on a Cody Rhodes t-shirt over a Roman Reigns t-shirt if he's going to see him at WrestleMania. Absolutely not. That would be like me wearing a Roman Reigns t-shirt over the Cody Rhodes shirt that I have in my drawer right now. Which, as much as y'all love Roman Reigns, is never going to happen. The only one in the bloodline whose merch I would wear is Jey Uso's right now. And y'all will just have to deal with that.
This is actually kind of sad because, for WrestleMania weekend, I already got you a Roman Reigns shirt.
You can give it to Shay.
It's like super small.
She can fit. She's tiny too.
I'm just gonna wear it. So if I look like a balloon, I want everyone to know it's your fault. I'm gonna blame you. Next match we have Lola Vice against Tatum Paxley. Let's talk about this match because, honestly, there's not much to talk about.
There isn't much to talk about, but I'm just going to say this. The No Quarter Cut crew finally said something that I agreed with, that Noam Dar is a clown.
Noam Dar is hilarious. Those are spots he said you can looky, but you can't touchy. He's such a fool, but I love what he does. But this match here, I said there's not much to talk about because this was so one-sided. Like, Tatum, she did get some offense, but Lola, for the most part, was just dominating her. Like, strikes after strikes, and even beat her to the point where I can't even name this submission. It looked like it was a guillotine, and Tatum had to tap out, and she had to tap out in front of her. He
tapped out to a triangle sleeper.
Okay, thank you. But she taps out. But
by the way, did anybody see where Tatum was tapping on Lola?
Oh, listen, I can already sit here and say there's a good portion of that audience who was sitting there saying, "It should have been me."
Insert Dolph Ziggler get meme/gif here. Or it should have been me.
She tapped that ass. And I'm saying tap because she was tapping. So calm down, crowd, chat. Because I can see someone in the chat saying, "Whoa, what did I miss?" Calm down. We got the sensational
those
Jeff.
aren't my words. That's what the No Quarter Cut crew were saying about Noam Dar, which they were right. For once, I agree with them.
Tatum taps out. She taps out in front of her so-called best friend, Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria saying, "Believe, trust, you can do it." And Tatum said, "I am tapping. I am getting the hell out of it."
She came out and surprised me because I didn't think she was going to come out to try to help after everything she'd been put through with Tatum.
And then even after that, I thought that we were going to. So if you read the description here, guys, and this is on me, I thought we were going to get Shotzi Blackheart against, and I don't think they even call it Blackheart anymore, but Shotzi against Lyra Valkyria.
But I thought we were going to get that. Shotzi Blackheart.
Right. Same way, like, if people remember, for Big E, his name was Big E Langston. Or Cesaro was Antonio Cesaro. Was it Cesaro Antonio or Antonio Cesaro? I forget. It was one of those names.
Antonio Cesaro.
I was close. We got Chris in the chat, the executive devil, who says, "Can we talk about Chikara?
We
What did she
will
do?
once we get to that match.
What did she do tonight though? Like I like
don't
Chikara.
know. I
What
don't
did-
know. Apparently, she did something other than get chased away by a couple of kids.
We got Jeffrey who says, "Chris, you read my mind." We got George in the chat says, "There's something going on with Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley." Todd, he says
Again, it's
that
literally the Trish Stratus Mickey James story where now they're at the stage where Lyra is accepting her and is helping her and such. And then before we know it, Tatum Paxley is going to completely snap when she sees that Lyra is befriending someone else. Tatum's going to kidnap the person, and then she's going to go crazy, be sitting in a bathtub being surrounded by pictures of Lyra Valkyria threatening to take the title away from her, have a match, take the belt away from her, and then have the belt for a little bit, and then the belt be taken away by Lola as revenge for losing her title opportunity from Congress.
Hold up. There was so much that just happened because I was laughing at the chat. And then you said something, about, yeah, and then something about she's going to be in a, what did you say? Like, there was this booking that you just did.
Like in the promo that Mickey did with all the pictures surrounded by Trish Stratus, she was in a bathtub in the bathroom. So
I'm not going to lie. When
thing.
You said all that, I was like, wait a minute, this sounds kind of hot. I'm just trying to calm down. But I'm laughing because look at this guy in the chat. Look at this. She appeared on my Scream, not Screen, Scream. So I don't know who this person is.
Apparently we have someone who
this person. No, I wanna digest this comment so much. Because right now, damn it, Wrestling Dog.
I'm just asking.
No, you did a fantastic job. No, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, we're on your screen, both me and the Wrestling Dog. But he said Scream. So apparently, I'm about to have a freaking meltdown right about now because what are you talking about? What are you?
Meant to write Screen, but wrote Scream.
Don't save him. Don't be an Avenger. Let him drown.
I'm not the one that said it first. Jeffrey did. Look at the chat.
Now let's get into this chat because this chat is hilarious. Yeah, he was typing too fast. Apparently he was typing with one hand, you nasty. Whoa! How should both. Look at this guy. Both. He tries to clean it up. No. I work as maintenance. I would fire you.
I don't work as maintenance and I don't plan on it, but I will not be trying to clean that up.
Listen, when I see them rats, I immediately get upset. I sit there and go like, shouldn't you be elsewhere? Like, I don't know.
Outside on a trash can? Trying to find some food?
That's just New York for you. But after this match, we had Shotzi. You know, she appears. And she says, like, I want a shot. And they make it for next week. I thought we were going to get this match this week because when I was looking up, like, the stuff for this week, I saw Shotzi. I guess she did it on a house show where she challenged Lyra Valkyria. And,
yes, she did.
I thought we would get it, and we didn't. And when Shotzi says, just take care of your friend, I love Tatum sits up and says, so we're taking on Shotzi next week? She's a real one, Doug. She's a real one, guys. She's a real one. Yes, she's a real one. Jeffrey's pointing out, and I think that he's talking about Shotzi and Lyra, so correct me if I'm wrong, Jeffrey, but they have Twitter battle online. SmackDown.
Well, they did mention that's not that Shotzi is happy that she's having a interaction with her face to face as opposed to just doing it on social media.
You know, it's great to see Shotzi back on. I'm sorry. It's great to see her back on NXT.
And QEC taking points away from you for saying something nice about Shotzi Blackheart because of how much he complains about her.
Who took points away from you?
He hasn't done it yet, but I have a feeling he's going to do that because you gave her a compliment.
Who's that, Jeffrey? I mean,
no,
George.
The EC.
The EC. Okay. Yeah. The EC who said she's on my scream. He can never talk again. Open my refrigerator, dog. Tatum was listening to What About Your Friends? See what I did there, Jack? Yes, Jeffrey. Yes, damn it. Yes. I am pumped right about now. I am really excited. What about your friends? Listen, when we do karaoke for WrestleMania weekend, Wrestling Doll, I'm singing What About Your Friends? And you're going to join. And you could be like, no, I'm gonna be like, yes. I'm gonna say, what about your friends? Something. I don't have the lyrics in front of me. Someone put the lyrics in front of me. Damn it,
They
Jesus.
will at karaoke.
No, I'd probably be on the floor, passed out. I can. WrestleMania weekend is gonna be a great time. I can't wait to do it with you guys for the UPR fam. Let's talk about the next match here. We have Jaida Parker going against Adriana.
Rizzo.
Yeah, I was interested in seeing what these girls can do. They had a it was a 6-person tag match, right?
Yes.
At Vengeance Day, and they had some time to shine, but it was really like there was so much
About the
going on.
boys.
So, well, I wouldn't even go as far as saying it was about the boys. It was just so much was going on. So they had moments to shine, but I just wanted to see what these girls could do on their own, and I thought it was pretty fair. Like I don't want to sit here and say like it was 5 stars at Kentucky Dome, but I thought that these girls went out there and they're pretty decent. Like I don't have anything to say about this match. I'm not gonna sit here and say this was like my favorite match of the night, but I thought these girls went out there. I thought Rizzo showed some heart. There was a spot at towards the end where she goes, "Hit me, come on, hit me," and Jada did hit her. She laid into it, and
He parked it.
yeah. Damn it, Wrestling Doll, are you trying to steal my title for
No,
funniest
I'm
host?
not.
You
I'm not
trying
trying
to
to be
steal that from
funny.
me?
No, I'm not.
George!
I'm not trying to be. No, I'm not trying to
George!
be funny.
George!
When I was watching it, I was thinking she should name
What's
that.
my damn
that
list?
should be the name of her finishing move. It should be called Park It.
Wrestling Doll, you know what? I hate to do this to you, but Wrestling Doll. But you know
I'm
what this
not-
means?
I'm
No,
not
Wrestling
trying to
Doll, you
be
know what this
funny.
means? Wrestling Doll, you know what this means? The executive consultant is on the list. So damn it for you for doing that. God damn.
I thought you were
What do you think
talking
about this
me.
match?
I thought it was fine. I felt like the right person won. I mean, nothing against Adriana Rizzo, but I felt like Jaida is such a talent that I feel like she should shine a lot more. And we got to see that like in the beginning when they were first showcasing these girls. And I was like, when I saw her, I was like, she could be like their powerhouse over there. And now we're getting to see that with like that boom right in the face. It was like she parked that girl down on the ground. So she should call that finish Park It. And since they say it was a pounce, it should be called the Park It Pounce.
I'm not gonna lie, that's damn good. But every time you're funny, I'm putting the executive consultant on the list because like this is ridiculous. Like I should not have my title be so threatened. But that is a damn good joke. George,
You've
make
been
sure
the funniest host for 6 years. Back to back to back to back to back. And besides, if I'm not saying I'm trying to win it, but if I happen to be the one to win, it would still be on the NXT brand of UPR. So either way, the title would still stay here.
You know, Wrestling Dog, I'm gonna say it online. I love you. You get it. You understand. See the NXT. This is why we're the winning duo. We were robbed last year. I think whoever was like tallying up the votes, it must have been a drunk. We should work on that. We got Jeffrey says Miss Jaida Parker don't play with me. She's playing with me. I guess that's something she said. Jeffrey was laughing. Jaida, oh my God, the chat. Please calm down. I'm trying to keep up with you guys. You guys are Jesus. I was trying to read a thing. I'm sorry. Jada's that girl. Jeffrey says, "Good Chris in the chat says Wrestling Dog is going to be on my list of people I like." Well, what about me? I want to be on. I want to be on the list too. I want to be on at least a good list. I don't know what his list look like. I might be on his list of like, get the hell out of here. Wrestling Doll with the puns like Becky Lynch used to. She
because those are the funnest. Those are the funnest names for finishers. A pun involving your name or something that you do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
If you just call like, oh, it's triangle submission, or
That's so boring.
or
That's
a
not-
frog splash, or a power bomb. That gets boring. What does the Miz call his finisher? He didn't call it leg sweep. He calls it a skull crusher finale.
Damn right. That's a damn good name. You know,
And what about Randy's finisher? They don't call it whatever the move is. They call it an RKO. And other people, they see it happen. They call it an RKO.
well, you know, us old people, you know, the older generation, when Randy first did it, we were like, that's a diamond cutter. But right, the RKO. Matter of fact, real quick, you know, you talk about names for moves. Charlotte Flair, she used to have a finisher. It was like a flipping neckbreaker, I want to say. And she used to call it National Selection or Bow Down to the Queen. That's what she used to call it, because that was a long name. I was like, I am winded from just saying all this. We got George. He's giving us some points. I mean, there's too many zeros here. I'm gonna leave that to you.
He gave us 43 million.
Oh, there we go. Good job. Anything after
And
2
look,
zeros.
we got a couple of suggestions for finisher names for Miss Jaida Parker.
Oh, yeah, we got
Todd
Park and
says the
Pound.
Park and Pound. Jeffrey says the parking meter.
I like that one. The parking
Well, I mean,
meter. I
he's
kind of
knocking
like
down
that
to the
one.
ground, so it worked. That too.
Yeah, no,
Especially with the parking
parking-
lots and how dangerous it can be,
I'm
but out the mud can fight back.
Let's talk about this match real quick. Then a segment, and then we'll play one more commercial before we finish this show. But I thought this was the tag team match was great. The main event was really, really good. I can see why that would be the match of the night. But I really enjoyed Carmelo Hayes against Joe Gacy. I thought these guys really had a fantastic match. I thought Joe Gacy has this thing, and I saw that because I tried to live tweet when NXT is going on, and so I was seeing some of the stuff that you was putting out there, Jeffrey. So there was a picture that Jeffrey shared. I saw it on TV, but I saw him share it on Twitter, where Joe Gacy, the camera will turn upside down, and I thought that was so fantastic because it just matches Joe Gacy's personality. But a little bit before that, I'm sorry, let me go back a little bit. You have Dijak, who I swear to God, I feel like he would go to Olive Garden with sunglasses at broad daylight. Broad daylight, right? Would go to Olive Garden at night, and
looks like
with
one
glasses.
of those that looks like one of those cocky, arrogant assholes that goes around with sunglasses everywhere, not caring where he's at or what time of the day it is. That's what he looks like every time he does that.
So he's looking at the stuff with Joe Gacy, and he's like, "Yeah, you could tell like he's not done with Joe Gacy." I thought Melo and Joe Gacy had a really great match. It was a great balance too, because Melo was getting some offense in, but Joe Gacy didn't look like a slob here. Joe Gacy, you know, when I was watching this match and a little bit before the
This is how you write somebody looking strong, even if they don't win. Y'all could do that for Joe Gacy. Why couldn't you do that for Von Wagner?
I think, you know what I think? I think because Von Wagner, I don't know if he has a big storyline, but Joe Gacy's in a pretty big storyline.
Big storyline, you got to build it up. You can't keep building it
Fair.
up if you keep making him a loser all the damn time. How many times are we going to have to watch somebody that we believe in keep losing over and over again until we either start fully believing them or lose all hope?
You know, I think those are some very fair points here. But getting to this match, I enjoyed it. I really digged it. Melo won clean. After the match, nothing but net. He's looking and he's calling out one Ilya Dragunov, the NXT champion. Joe Gacy's getting his ass kicked by Dijak. Dijak put him with a straight jacket. He beats him up some more, and I saw on his Twitter, and I feel so awful for this. But I'm gonna let you guys know what kind of person I am. Dijak said, I forget what the amount of, and please in the chat, I know you would know more, Jeffrey. He said, if I get this amount of lights, I'm just going to throw Joe Gacy into a river. And I liked it. I'm sorry. I liked it. I was for the
throw somebody in a river is not funny, even if they drive you crazy. All I do when I'm recording the matches, which are all on my channel, the unofficial camera, which we have a link of in the description. I just say that I'm going to kill somebody. I don't mean it. That's just my way of showing how much I love the person. And I don't do it to everybody. I do it to only a special few. They know I love them by being nice to them and roasting them. They just know that's how I am.
That is the best way to do things in life. I have a lot of great friends. I have friends that
it's like this mini video, like this little clip I saw on Instagram. Like,
ooh,
it was this lady. She was saying, like, basically, so here's how our friendship works. I will roast you endlessly. I will tease you endlessly. But the minute someone else does it, I will yeet them into the eternal abyss on the other side of the world. So you are safe from other people making fun of you, just not from me.
I hope you guys heard all that. Let's get into this segment because we got 2 more matches here. Because I feel like we talked about the Roxanne stuff. Real quick here, guys. Before we go any further here. Oh, okay. So he said Dijak Twitter is 10K. It's at 6.9K so far. Okay, we're not too far off. All right.
What is wrong with you people?
You know, when people ask me that all the time, I say, do you have time? And no one ever tells me they have time. So I cannot help you with that. But we had this segment with Obafemi. Did I say the name right this time? Because I know everyone likes to.
Yes,
there we go.
did.
George, at least like 2,000 points. At least 2,000 points on my end, please. Because I got it right. It took me some weeks. But this strong, big black man, Obafemi, he comes out here. He talks about Dragon Lee. He says Dragon Lee is a fighting warrior.
And he kept that belt warm.
You make it sound like Dragon Lee fought it with the belt. Because, like, why is that belt warm? That sounds gross.
No, because
like,
he was holding it until Femi won it from him. Like body warm.
I don't think it's possible for the dragon, but you know I hear you, wrestling dog. But Ober, he's saying it, he's talking, he's saying his thing, he's saying Ober things. He wants a challenge. He wants whoever wants to step up. He's letting them know, like, hey, whoever steps up, it doesn't matter because the results are going to always be the same.
Tell it to Lexus King.
And Lexus King come out, and I said, bro.
He wants to fight everybody. He wants all the damn titles, which there's only 3 of them. You ain't gonna win one because you ain't ready for one.
I like Lexus King.
And
I think the character
is going to dominate and destroy Lexus King. You may say it the way that you say it. That's why I didn't say it like that.
Wait, with me? What are you talking about?
Because I said that Obafemi was going to dominate Lexus King.
You know, you said it wrong, and I want to make sure that we get this right here.
That's why I'm letting
right
you
here.
say it, because you say it.
Oh, okay. So right here, I'm going to say for you guys here for the NXT Tuesday, because this is the NXT Tuesday crew, a.k.a.
NXT Tuesday.
Yeah, NXT Tuesday. That's right. The cat tigers. That's us. The tiger cats. That's us. But I said there, say yes. Let's get that hashtag going. The tiger cats. Let's go. Don't do that, Wrestling Dog. Yeah, let's get it.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I know you don't like it. Let's get that going, George. Tiger Cats, let's get that hashtag. But let me tell you, Oba is going to, let's say, guys, dominate one Lexus King. Lexus King, his crown is going to fall on top of his foot.
Lexus wrong. It's with an I, not a U, but.
Good job, George. No, George got the right. George, I'm going to give you a good 25 points. Good job, George. People really want Dijak to be throwing people or saying, hurry up and like, we have a guy to be thrown. Oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Listen, if we were talking about Schism Joe Gacy, I would agree. Now I don't.
Yeah, now we have a liking to him. But Oba
I liked him before in the breakout tournament. It was when he started becoming this weird cult leader that I was like, no.
And with all that said, so we're gonna have Oba against Lexus next week. I want to get into Kiana James and Brinkley. Is it Reece? Brinkley, was it Reece? Brinkley Reece. Okay, I want to make sure I got this young lady's name right. We're gonna play one more commercial, and then we're going to talk about the last 2 matches for NXT. So please stay tuned. Commercial. Thank you. You're watching Unpopular Review. Don't forget to like, love, and share, subscribe, and hit that notification on the YouTube. We thank you guys. See you after these commercials.
Next, we had Daniel Garcia versus Shane Taylor. This was my favorite match of the night. I am a Daniel Garcia fan, as you know. Daddy Magic was on commentary.
Do you do the dance?
To hear him, he did. Did it many times. But nobody was trying to hear him. By the way, that last match ended in a submission. This match also ended in a submission, and it continued the win streak for Daniel Garcia. He did work the leg the whole match because he was facing Shane Taylor, who's a bigger guy than him. He also has like a boxing background. He spent the whole match trying to avoid that knockout punch that he did eventually get hit with. But I thought it was smart to have him work the leg the whole match. He's fighting the bigger guy. He's trying to bring him down to his size. And then he did eventually win with a leg lock, right? And so I thought it made sense. And
this was probably my favorite match as well. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. Once Daniel hit that dragon screw, it was over. It was like a shark. He saw blood in the water. It was like, I'm going to tear this leg apart. And tear he did. But my goodness, Shane Taylor, the hits he was giving out, that one chop in the corner.
Listen, stop. What I want to see now.
Clutching the pearls.
No, seriously, my chest on fire watching it. But yeah, no, that was great. I love Daniel. I'm such a big Daniel Garcia fan. Like I will always say, I feel like I have this like mental connection with him because the first match I ever watched from AEW, he was in it with Wheeler Yuta. This is why I will never take any negativity when it comes to him. Everyone hates Wheeler. I don't hate him. But
they hate him.
They do. But yeah, no, I love Daniel. I'm just happy to see how he's been going, and I'm pulling for him on Wednesday. I really am. So yeah.
What say you, Pooh?
All I'm going to say is I do not care for Daniel Garcia. He's not bad. He's just not my favorite. But I do love Wheeler Yuta. He was one of my first I saw on AEW Dark. Now I'm done.
I want to say a few things. You know, there's a commercial. I'm in there. And then you hear, what do you have, Poob? And then I'm immediately cut off. So whoever did that commercial, this makes me feel better. George, please take away at least a -5 points for whoever made that commercial, because how do you have at the end, what's my thoughts, and then I'm immediately cut off? Rude. Just very rude. This is why I'm trying to go part-time. But if you see my face all the time, this is why, because I'm going to make up for that goddamn commercial. Because guess what? I have a lot to say. I have thoughts. Poob. That's right. Let's get that. Yeah, let's go. Look at this. Because of that awful commercial, LMAO, Poob. Awful. Disrespected completely. Look at this. What do you say, Poob? I don't say nothing. Look at this. I love this. Good job, George. I hope the person who saw this, who made this commercial, saw this, because you suck. I don't even want to continue the show anymore. We talked about JC Jane. That's the show, folks. We're going to leave here.
No, we're not. I will say this. Roxanne was upset that her title shot got taken because Lola ruined it, and then Shotzi stole it. And then Ren comes up to say that she knows how she feels. But unfortunately, Roxanne was not very happy, so she unfortunately unloaded on Ren Sinclair and nearly destroyed her face.
Love that!
It's sad because Ren's face is her moneymaker.
I love that. You know why? Because you know what? I feel like doing that when someone says, what do you got, Poob? And there's no conversation after that on my end. So good for Roxanne for standing on that. Look, I like Ren. Ren seemed like a really sweet girl. And I really feel bad that she got slapped. But you got in Roxanne's way. So you know what? You're going to have to take that slap. You're just going to have to lay down, take some Advil, and just go to sleep and listen to some lo-fi music, because lo-fi music is dope. Let's talk about Kiana James going against. I'm sorry, you said her last name.
Brinkley Reece.
Thank you.
Like the Candy Reese, or like Reese Witherspoon.
Are you a Reese? Who's that? Never heard of her.
Legally Blonde.
No, I'm my hair's blue. I know what you're talking about. Calm down. Don't yell at me. I
didn't say anything.
I am on fire tonight, guys, because that commercial pissed me off. But I thought the match. Thank you. I thought this match did what it had to do. Kiana James was going to get the win.
And without Izzy's help, as always.
But let me ask real quick, because I might have missed this. You know, watching a lot of wrestling, I might have missed this. Was this her debut match? Talking about Brinkley. I'm sorry, hiccups. But was this her debut match?
Technically, yes, because she did participate in the battle royal thing that they had.
Okay. All right.
But yes, this was Brinkley's first match on NXT on TV. She probably had some in-house shows, but as far as like being recorded and put out live for television, this was her first.
Okay, no, that's cool. I thought she looked pretty damn good. I thought that I love that she was just in good spirit because even in loss after the match, you know, you have Malik and Ildris, and they're like, oh, well, now not Malik. Malik was like, you know, we should like really be
there for her and talk to her and comfort her. And Idris is basically saying, well, now she knows how we feel. So now she's gonna walk in all sad and blue and gloom and depressed and shit. But no, she cartwheels through. She's motivated to work.
Cartwheel.
Listen, when people lose, they react one of a few ways, and there are two main ways. One, you're either upset and gloomy and doomed, or you get motivated to do better and work harder for next time.
No, Wrestling Doll. No, you don't do that. Listen, Wrestling Doll.
This is what Brinkley did. She's motivating herself by not being sad, which is not a good thing to repress your emotions.
I love everything that you said. You're so positive. But let me tell you what I do when I lose, right? I was playing let's talk about it again. Mario Kart. I lost to a bunch of kids. I lost to my nieces and nephews, right? And when that happened, you know what I did? When there was the pizza there, I ate all the pizza. That's how you send a message. That's what you're supposed to do when you lose. You send a message. So like, oh, look. Oh, my niece like these 10 chicken nuggets. Guess what I'm going to do? Yum, 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 yum. I'm going to eat them all. That's what you're supposed to do when you lose. You send a message, you teach them, and you let them know that there's consequences to your bad actions. So yes, I had chicken nuggets yesterday, and the sauce was sweet and sour because sweet and sour is the best sauce to go with it. Am I yelling a lot? Does McDonald's have ranch with this?
They have the best ranch. Are you kidding?
What? I'm trying that. They have the best ranch.
Ranch from almost every fast food place. Nothing tops McDonald's. If there's one thing they're good at besides their fries and their McFlurries, whenever the ice cream machine works because they don't want to clean it up after a few hours, it's their ranch.
I didn't know they had ranch.
It's a lazy thing. They don't want to clean it up. It takes hours.
I didn't know they had ranch.
That's why the machine's not working because they don't want to clean it.
But I do want to sit here and say that, you know, when you were talking about the sweet and sour sauces, I do want to say Wendy's has a really good sweet and sour sauce too. Like, I don't know if anyone liked Wendy's, but I think Wendy's has really
Wendy's,
good.
but I'm more of I stick to my ranch.
You know what? I'm going to try ranch now that you mentioned that. So when I DoorDash, I'm going to try ranch. I just didn't know they had ranch. Now, Jeffrey.
It depends on where you order it from because not all places are going to have it good. People say Wingstop's ranch is really good. I haven't had it yet. So
Wingstop's is really good. Like, I'm sorry. I know this is not a food conversation, but we like to talk wrestling and food.
We will make it whatever conversation we choose to be.
Hello. But see.
That's why I love it.
Hold on. Absolutely. But hold on. Person who made the commercial. Person who made the commercial. You see this comment right here? Right here. Words of wisdom by Grand Poob. This is your fault. Your fault. That's right. Word Grand Poob. You know what? I'm going to put that on the shirt, Jeffrey. Good job, Jeffrey. I want you to buy the shirt, though, because I need money so I can get this ranch. Let's talk about this main event, guys. Real quick before we talk about
it. I'm just going to say this. We have a couple matches for next week. We have Ren Sinclair versus Roxanne Perez. And we didn't talk about this earlier, but Briggs and Jensen were going at it in the back. And A was like, y'all can go at it in the ring, not in back here. So next week, y'all are going to fight it out back there in the ring.
Oh, this person think they're so freaking funny, but can't win no funniest host award. Look at this. Sorry, Poob. Shut up.
Now we may get into the main event.
No. I don't want to. I'm the main event right now. Shut up. This person. But I'm glad that you pointed that out. But I did want to say real quick. Isn't this how they became friends to begin with? This is how they became a tag team. They fought each other and then became a tag team. And now they're fighting each other again, and they're going to fight next week.
But they were already a tag team. They fought because Briggs chose a girl over them, and then they
No. Jensen did.
Jensen chose the girl, right? Jensen chose
Right.
the girl over them. Then once he saw what she was using him for, then they fought again, and then decided to split up afterwards because they're like, well, we're not really doing nothing anymore.
I see George in the chat, and he's mentioning that Briggs and Jensen are going to get back together. I believe this is a real match between them, right?
I think that in this case, it will just be they will go their separate ways afterwards. Briggs will become a heel. Jensen will become a face that will actually be in the back and catering, and Fallon Henley will keep trying to build up Brent Sinclair by helping her out as the locker room support system that she likes to be. I'm not going to say she's a locker room leader, but I'll say she's a support system.
I think those are some fair points.
Which more
we're gonna
need. You need a support system, not just.
We're gonna be here next week to talk about that, guys. So, please tune in. There's so many matches already confirmed for next week. Like we talked about, Oba, he's gonna go against Lexis Kane. We have the match that we just talked about, Jensen against Brooks. And I feel like there's another match that there's a few matches that I know that I'm missing, but we're gonna be here next week. So please tune in because George mentioned her name, so it sparked a memory here. But Ren Sinclair, she's going to be going against Roxanne Perez, and I feel like there's one more match, but I don't know. Briggs is a heel now.
He's a different color for her gear, but she doesn't need a new one. That's the style she's been wearing for years.
Who are you talking about?
Because George says that she needs new gear.
Oh, talking about Ren.
Talking about denim one over and over again. Yeah, she needs it in a different color and a different style. She just probably can't use the ones that she used before when she was working in the independent circuit.
I'm pretty sure as time goes on,
because a lot of that has her name on it.
Right. I'm pretty sure as time goes on, she'll definitely get some new gear. Just give it some time. We got Jeffrey. He says Briggs is a heel now. He's been having an edge to him. I blame JBL. I just makes a lot of sense. JBL. When in doubt, blame JBL. Let's talk about this main event, because I thought this main event was really, really good. I honestly think that if Melo and Joe Gacy was not on the card, because I honestly like that match a little bit more personally for myself, but I thought Braun and Baron going against Tony D and Stacks was a really good match. Matter of fact, I was really interested in seeing what Braun and Tony D, because Tony D, I wasn't big on Tony D.
Neither was I in the beginning.
For a while, but like Tony D has really grown on me. I there's something about Tony D that I didn't see from the beginning, but I'm like, yeah, Tony D is special, and he's also
because every time we saw him, we thought of The Sopranos.
The Sopranos, but Tony D, and also
in the chat would be like, "What do you know about The Sopranos?" It's called TV.
Yeah. Okay, wrestling dog.
Comes throughout the whole episode.
Wrestling dog's a little spicy tonight, guys.
Always spicy.
She always. This is true. We went to Royal Rumble.
Like cinnamon.
This is true. When Royal Rumble happened and something, I think you caught us more for the Rumble than the Roman match. Cause I think if you were sitting with us with Roman and I would have put the one up,
I was sitting with you during the Roman match. It was the one.
I just didn't make eye contact out of fear for my life. Understood? Because I feared for my life.
Listen, you didn't have to be fearful. I acknowledged him in my own way. I just can't stick up the finger that I chose to acknowledge him with because
this is true. Everyone used the index finger. I can't put. Well, David's a follower. Like he gets he eats a Happy Meal and then falls asleep. Like no one takes him seriously. And then he gets he doesn't even get the cool Happy Meal toy. Oh look, I got a Happy Meal toy. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. He got Barbie. Which is nothing wrong with it. I saw the Barbie movie. Fantastic. I gotta sit here and say it was a really good movie. Georgia, you did tell me that. This is true. That was a damn good movie. Matter of fact, you know what made me really want to watch the movie? When they said there was a war with the Kens. I said, oh shoot, I need to watch this. But this main event was really, really good. I'm sorry. Really good stuff. Like I was mentioning earlier, I was interested in seeing with Braun and Tony D because Tony D is a pretty bulky dude too. just a really good match. I didn't expect the outcome to be we will have new NXT Tag Team Champs, and I should have saw it coming, especially.
Take the belts to the main roster and unify them with our already unified undisputed tag team champions.
No.
Not that again.
No. I feel like they have these titles. They're not going to hold it long. I feel like they would definitely drop it if not before Stand and Deliver, at Stand and Deliver. I feel like with Braun, he's going to be on the main roster, right? And I see Braun being on Raw. And there's a lot of talks about Braun. I see Braun being on Raw, and it talks about Braun being the guy to go against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I don't know what WrestleMania looks like. I got to see what each week look like. I wouldn't be mad at Braun going against Gunther for the IC title at WrestleMania. He's not going to hold these titles long. I think they just did this. I don't know why they did it, but they did it
for Corbin because the last time he competed in this, he wasn't able to win it.
And also, too, I'm glad that you mentioned something like that because you mentioned Baron. And Baron, he said he hasn't held a championship in 6 years. I didn't realize it was that long.
Well, I mean, they made it one of the biggest jobbers in the past 6 years. The only other accomplishment he had in that time frame was being King of the Ring.
This is true. I'm trying to figure out if
during the Thunderdome
he held a championship. Nah, he was King of the Ring before.
King of the Ring.
Yeah, but I think that was before Thunderdome. When he was King of the Ring. No, he was the King of the Ring before that, but he was King of the Ring. He kept walking around with that King of the Ring gimmick because he won that before. There was crowd there. Matter of fact, the person he beat in the finals was Chad Gable, and there was people there. Or maybe I'm wrong. So someone in the chat, please, if someone has the facts here, please, because I feel like it was around a crowd, and it had to be around a crowd because when he was the champ, King of the Ring, that was when Roman was still the big dog. The big dog. He was the big dog.
I was about to say before being shoved down everybody's throat and being forced to like him to the point where we hate him, that once he disappeared up until 2020 and became a heel, everybody started liking him again.
That's me.
But I thought that they kept trying to make him so popular and over that everybody kept getting annoyed and booed every time Vince McMahon came out trying to talk about him.
I mean, look, I think he needed a change. It did it for me. I can understand if it don't work for everybody, and that's fine.
Wanted him to change,
and he needed a change. But I thought this match was good. Rosendahl, what did you think about this main event?
It was an enjoyable match. It was fun to see all of them go at it. It's nice to see that Baron Corbin can get some love despite being a villain in a sense, because when was the last time he was ever a face, if he ever was one? But I did not expect us to get new champions, but what can we say? It happened. That's all I can say.
It did happen. I am interested in see where this go. King Booker. King Booker.
You have to say it like that. That's how it works. It's funnier like that anyways.
That was fantastic. Good job, wrestling dog. Guys, that was our NXT review. We want to thank you guys for staying with us. This was a fun review. I apparently now have a new nickname. I'm Poob. Was that what I am? Was that the name?
That's what they wrote, but I'm not calling you that.
Thank you, because someone has respect for the Great Grand Slam Poobar. The person who made the chat, and he disappeared. He sucks. So mad.
That's fine. I didn't feel like this. Well, never mind. I'll talk about that later.
Oh, we got you got 1 million points. Jeffrey made sure to give you 1 million points, so you got that. The Wolf Dogs are going to drop the titles before Stand and Deliver. It's a possibility for them to do that, but I could also see them dropping it at Stand and Deliver. So it all depends. To who is a great question. So Chase University, they look like they want a shot at those titles, but now that
they
Tony
have to figure out how, because now the family is no longer in control.
Bro, what are you doing?
Trying to get your blood pressure through the roof. The show's about to end.
Now, Jeffrey's fam. Jeffrey, I just want to sit here and say real quick before we do some plugs. I want to say thank you guys for always watching us on NXT. We appreciate you guys. Jeffrey, I know you watch all the wrestling shows, so we appreciate you. George, I know that you wrote that you are going through something, but you have not only just both me and the wrestling doll, but you also have the chat who is 100% behind you. So we sit here and say thank you for joining us live. We appreciate that. He says chase you, but I see the family getting them back. I feel like they're definitely gonna want a rematch. But at that point, but they lost clean. So like I don't see how, for myself. I just don't
I
I
mean,
don't
they'll just
see
set
how.
up to want their titles back after losing them, whether it was clean or not. I can see that.
That's true. So let's do some quick plugs here. We're gonna do some plugs here. We're gonna get into the chat after, so just give us a minute or so. Once again, you watch an Unpopular Review. We want to thank you guys. You can subscribe to us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Guess what I'm going to continue to call it on Twitch.
We'll keep
And
calling it that. I'm never calling it the other name.
yeah, that's so stupid. It's like lame as hell. But you can follow us on all those social media platforms. On YouTube, if you subscribe, hit that notification when we go live. You'll know it. And I mean, look, we appreciate you guys joining us for the NXT review show, but there's so much content here on the wrestling side of Unpopular Review because entertainment have some amazing things, and there's a link going there too. But we're going to talk about wrestling. The Monday Night Raw review show, it is back. So after Monday Night Raw, and I think Monday Night Raw has been really, really solid. It's 3 hours, a little too long for me, but I just feel like they've been doing a really good job. You can catch the executive consultant and Evil Dose, Jeff Lippman, on Monday night after Monday Night Raw go off the air. So please check them out if you guys are awake. I'm sorry, give me a minute here, folks. We have a AEW Dynamite show. So after Dynamite go off the air, as you can tell, when these shows go off the air, we're going on the air. We have Dan the Man and Benny. Jeff is no longer on AEW. He's on Monday Night Raw, so you can catch him there. But the thing with AEW Dynamite, you never know who's going to be making an appearance. Sometimes it's the executive consultant. It might even be Evil Dose. I'm being told that the bad guy Jack might be on Dynamite. I don't think there's a stick of dynamite prepared for me. So if I am on Dynamite, it is going to be one hell of an experience, and I know it because I watch it live. And we have a SmackDown review show. You can catch the outstanding and talented Z the Silent and Vic DeMark. They review SmackDown every Saturday at 12 p.m., sometime 1 p.m., depending on how things work, but it is on Saturday. So if you want to see SmackDown Hero Review, we are here for it. And then we're going to keep plugging this because we're going to get this off the ground eventually. I want you guys to hear me. We're going to get this TNA review show off the ground. Last week, we wanted to get it off the ground, but we just couldn't. This week, I don't think we're going to get it off the ground. But TNA, I watched last week. I think the content is great. It's a fun show. I watch it off the YouTube. So one of the reasons why I don't do live tweets because I watch it on YouTube and there's just a delay. So, but it's a fun show. So if you are able to watch TNA, it's on Access TV. If you don't have Access TV, it's on YouTube. If you want to pay I think it's like $1.99 or something like that. It's relatively cheap. So if you want to watch it, check it out. And we have the incredible Mike Knox on Monday at 6 p.m. He kicks off the week for UPR. Check him out. He's yelling. And I mean yelling. But he talks about he isn't for the intelligent wrestling fan. He speaks intelligently. He is talking about Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Collision, AEW, whatever's on the docket, he's talking about it. And he also have the talented King Vaughn, and when they have the Week in Wrestling, I think they have some great content there. So please check out Mike Knox. And I think sometimes Z is on there too, because he had a segment on there. It was Too Sweet or Suck It. So please check that out. I'm so winded, guys. I'm doing the best I can. Wrestling Doll, I'm going to get into some of these chats, but you have content too. You do things outside of Unpopular Review, and you've been doing some big things. So please tell these lovely people what you be doing.
Well, I have a YouTube channel, as I plugged earlier in the show, The Unofficial Camera Woman, where I go throughout Central Florida and occasionally South Florida to record some wrestling matches, which I plan to do this weekend as well. So be on the lookout for when I put up any videos and when I make ones that I filmed last weekend public. Be on the lookout for those as well.
Fantastic stuff. I want to get into the chat real quick before I do my plug. We got Jeffrey. He says, damn, you guys are great. No, you're great, sir. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself, George. Absolutely. Please take care of yourself. The family winning back the NXT Championship and OTM will be the next. I thought OTM could be the NXT champions. I thought they were going to be the ones to take it off the family, actually, but I'll say that for thoughts for next week. The NXT Tuesday crew all day, every day. Thank you. I'm not seeing enough of them hashtag the Tiger Cats, but I understand. I get you guys. Trinity's last match was last week. It was so good. Yes. And sometimes Mike will even do ASMR. I'm sorry. I'm not understanding that. What's that?
You know those videos where like people like would put like stuff close to the camera, make noises and stuff like unwrapping presents or eating food by a microphone, and some people find that relaxing.
I don't know what the hell. I was gonna say I don't even know what the hell is going on. But cheap plug here, real quick. I'm gonna call it a show, guys. I have a podcast for the Big Pop Theory podcast. It's an audio podcast. It is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and just learned recently Podbeam. We talk about all that's going on in wrestling. It's a great time with both myself and Chase Sawyer. I'm yelling half the time because I have a lot to say, and I'm going to have a lot to say this week because why was R-Truth jumped during Black History Month? He didn't deserve that. Judgment. Get away from this group, R-Truth. Get away from him. Get away from him.
Well, he realized it, and that's why he called the Miz. So
I loved that scene so much when he sat here and he said,
when he sat here, thanked DIY and called them D Generation X.
Judgment Day has fallen. They have missed the ball here because R-Truth was giving these dudes their cuts. He didn't have to do that. His name is on the shirt. His name was selling. It wasn't Finn Balor. It wasn't Damian Priest. It wasn't Nick Mysterio. It wasn't who else is on there? Alexa, you hear this? Who's JD Madonna? Who's JD Madonna?
Lord Farquaad.
You couldn't hear her, but she said, I don't know that one. Alexa, are you having a good time? She said, absolutely. No one can hear her. Anyway, guys, let's go because I'm going to keep yelling. I'm not going to stop yelling. We want to thank you guys. We love you guys. Thank you for joining the NXT Tuesday crew. Hashtag the Tiger Cats. We got to do this thing where we play the music and all that stuff, right? Let's play the music. Let's do it. Is the music playing? Lord, no. I feel like the music is really not playing. It is. Oh! The music is playing now. Oh, okay. I gotta do that thing that I do. Hold on, give me a minute. Oh, we're all the time here on Unpopular Review NXT Tuesday crew. We're gonna see you guys next week. That's the end of the show. See you guys next week.